Welcome to Girls Who Read Porn. Please be advised that this podcast contains mature content for mature audiences. The title might have given that away though. We would also advise you triple check the trigger warnings of each book prior to the episode, and if it's not for you, we'll see you next week. Each episode includes major spoilers, so make sure you read the book, and don't say we didn't warn you. With all that in mind, on with the show.
One can say it. Really doesn't matter. All right. Do you want me to do it or do you guys want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Lemon and honey. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Welcome back to another episode of Girls Who Read Porn. Not that you guys haven't been listening to us, it's just that we haven't exactly been here.
No.
I'm here with the Regs. I'm with Betty.
Hello.
And G.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, it's good to be back.
What's this? 2 months?
Back and home.
No, I kind of forgot that we were on a podcast for a bit.
I didn't.
Same.
I know you didn't because you actually had shit to do, but the rest of us forgot.
Although I was not on time once, I think. Wow.
I don't know. But I was like, I should probably catch up on the episodes because I fully forgot. Like, I didn't even remember what books we did. And yesterday I started listening to Pucking Around. I think that's is that it? And the whole beginning, the first 2 minutes, is just you guys talking about how you can't change light bulbs in your house.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right. Quality
content. And then 2 minutes in, it goes, welcome to another episode of Girls Who Read Porn. And I was like, well, yeah, it happens.
I probably left it in if it's funny. Sometimes I leave in things if I think they're funny.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's probably why I left it in. Sometimes things look like I don't do my job, but I intentionally put them in there because they're ridiculous.
Yeah, because we are a bit ridiculous. It's like that one time that you went to the toilet and you kept that whole interaction between G and I in there.
You guys were being mean.
We weren't being mean. I was singing.
You were, but then you were also making fun of me for going to the toilet, and the whole thing made me laugh.
Then you're like, I can hear you. And I'm like, well, obviously. You're wearing headphones in the toilet.
I'm not going to take them off.
How was your break?
Good. Yeah. I don't know. Our lives didn't change. Like, you say this like we also went to Europe for 3 months, but we didn't.
I'm not saying that.
Like we all had a holiday.
I did a wee tiki tour around the South Island.
You had a little mini holiday.
Like, 9 days, 9-day road trip just around the South Island of New Zealand. Highly recommend it. But I mean, like, I wasn't
It's unreal.
It is unreal. I wasn't jet setting.
It's unreal. Well, I was.
Yes.
And this trip taught me a lot about myself. For example, there is such thing as
good God,
weird hangovers after 30.
Yeah.
It fucking just, it's like overnight. Once you go from 29 to 30, it's a slap in the face. And I was like, I can keep up with my 22-year-old cousins 3 days in a row staying up till 4 a.m. drinking. No, I can't. I can't do it. I can't even talk about what happened to my body afterwards. It was honestly like I was being shot a million times.
I get bad hangovers now.
It was violent and it was uncomfortable. And this was like organic shit. They don't sell you the crappy shit there that they do here. This is like true alcohol. Still couldn't handle it.
Rough.
I walked over a bridge singing Nina fucking Simone.
I don't know who that is, but good. Sounds like a night.
Oh my God. You guys are so cultured in some ways, and in other ways you're just like a hot mess.
I don't know who Nina Simone is. I don't know what you want me to do about that.
She sings soul.
Go on, give us a rendition.
No.
Okay, well.
No. I could have 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, but today, no bueno.
Because you got laryngitis.
Yeah, I feel like I need evidence.
Oh, yeah,
Olive,
definitely
you
somebody was
did sting me
filming.
this woman.
Like, I know it's out there.
Put it on the gram.
Like, one of my cousins or friends. But it was a good time. It was just hot as fuck. They say it's the hottest European summer for a reason. It was wild. Naples and Rome was just out of control.
Man.
P.S. I don't recommend Naples. Just as an FYI, it's a shithole. But yeah, no, it was a good time. Portugal is bloody unreal. Definitely better than Italy. And I feel like that's such a controversial thing to say. But it's cheaper. The food is better in the way that it's just different. Like, it's heaps of really fresh seafood. And, like, you can get that in Italy, don't get me wrong. But now, I don't know if you guys feel the same, but in Australia, there's such a wide variety of food and the quality is so much higher now that, like, when you have a pizza, you can have the best pizza. Like, you can get, like, a sourdough base.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it's probably a little bit different for us.
Maybe. Because here, like, we make pasta at home. And I buy Italian flour. Yeah. So the pasta was like, it's good. Like, it was amazing because somebody else was making it. It was all fresh. Like, if you go to a restaurant here, it's not all going to be handmade. Whereas there it was all handmade. So that's the difference. But, like, the only thing that was different was pizza in Naples.
Good.
I'm not surprised that Portugal is better than Italy, honestly.
You're not?
No, because I think Italy is not become famous for being, like, the best country. It's just really easily accessible and good for tourists.
Maybe. I think the thing about Italy, it's, like, in one of those... Because you know how, like, it doesn't make sense to me that Latvia and Lithuania or Estonia or even, like, Bosnia or all of those countries like Hungary, whatever, are not on the list of, like, the must-see countries, even Poland, must-see countries in Europe. Like, it's France, England, Italy, Spain, Germany, and Greece and Croatia.
Yeah, it's all, like, the Eastern European countries. They all get sort of...
fucked off. But they're so much prettier.
It's accessible. It's purely
it's
accessible.
So much cheaper.
Like, it's accessibility. It's how likely are you to interact with somebody that, like, knows tourists and speaks English and will, like, perform for you in that environment? And, like, Italy, Paris, Germany, like, those kind of countries, like, they're so accustomed to, like, English speaking tourists that it's so much more accessible to go to those countries because you're not going to feel overwhelmed or, like, confused. Like, there's gonna be enough there for you.
It's such a white person problem. Like, I just think that's just the biggest bullshit. Like, I listen to, and I understand what you're saying, but, like, if people genuinely believe that, then they're demented. Because when you go to Poland, it's a requirement that everyone at school has to learn how to speak English and Russian and, like, one other language. You know what I mean? And it's normal. Everyone speaks English everywhere in Eastern Europe now. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, I can agree with what you're saying. But now, it's not that I see why people think that way, 100%, but just, like, it's so expensive. That's the other thing. I enjoyed it, I really did, but it was just so expensive. I was like, I can spend this money in Australia. Like, it's beautiful.
Yeah, imagine if you would, like, imagine what you could get at home.
We spent
or, like, other places you could have gone.
We spent a lot of money.
If you went to, like... Yeah, if you went to, like, Southeast Asia or something, imagine how far that money would have gone.
I know, and, like, for example, Josh bought a Rolex while we were overseas. Mad. But, like, we did end up getting it cheaper because we did tax back. But at the same time, like, I also bought a designer bag. Way cheaper to buy those things overseas. But the amount of money we spent, like, there was times where we would spend, like, I think there was one dinner and Josh was like, oh, it's on me, because we just both looked at it and we were like, this is insane. It was €60 per person.
You can, I would like to put out there though that you can do these countries cheap. You just have to suffer a little bit. And that's a choice that you make. Like, you either go expecting to spend, like, a shit ton of money and doing everything and anything and eating at the nicest restaurants, or you go and you suffer. There's, like, no in between. There's no middle.
No, but this is what I want to say. I'm a mid-traveler, so I'm not the most I do not spend money on the most expensive shit, but I also don't want to stay in a backpackers hostel. I want to stay somewhere which is nice, where, you know,
There's
I'm
no
not
mid.
spending
There's no mid. There's like either really expensive.
I know,
or
and it's very
backpackers.
frustrating. And I'm not going to go on a backpackers tour because I've done that in my 20s.
Mm.
I'm going there to be comfortable and to have a good time and for people to do shit for me. And the one thing that we said next time that we would do is organize a driver in every single city, because I'm sick of fucking schlepping suitcases around. I'm on fucking holidays. I'm not dragging another suitcase in my lifetime.
You're definitely not in the mid-range.
High.
That is a high-class statement.
Let me tell you something. I can't afford it. But Josh and I were like, that's it. We're saving enough money next time to be able to afford that one thing. I could stay in a shithole, but I would prefer to have a driver.
Stay in a backpackers, but someone drops your suitcase to the door.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. But I do have news.
Go on.
I got my first tattoo in Florence.
Oh, did
yeah,
you? Did you
I
get
did.
the love from A to Z?
What is it?
A to Z.
I just got A to Z.
Ah.
But I'm getting more added to it. I've decided I'm gonna get I found this like line tattoo guy, and it's like a palm tree that goes into a wave into a palm tree that'll just go around it.
Very cute.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And then that'll be my only tattoo.
I did
Billy
get
got a tattoo yesterday.
Oh, what is it?
It's a tomato plant because of my favorite poem is called Tomatoes. But it's a
Your
significant
favorite poem.
It's significantly bigger than yours, in that like Ola's is like
Mine
the
is
size
the
of like
size of a finger.
yeah, Ola's is
of like half of a pinky.
Yeah, and mine takes up my entire forearm, like back of my forearm. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Josh got a tattoo done the day before, and I was watching him suffering.
Where did he get it?
And I was like, fuck, I can't do this. We got them done in Florence. And I was
On his
like,
body,
I can't
you
do
dingus.
this. Oh, on his body. I thought you meant where, as in like, where did we go?
No, where his body?
He got it on his same spot,
Oh,
like
yeah.
on his rib
Mm.
kind of thing. And it's like a bigger Aboriginal turtle, like Aboriginal design turtle. And he was really he was sweating and he was dying. And I know that mine's tiny, but the guy started doing it and I was really expecting pain. And I was like, I've had periods worse than this.
It's because
like, why are you
men
bitching?
are bad at tattoos. If you ask any tattoo artist, they will say every single time that women sit for tattoos better. And it's
I've heard that as well.
but it's because women do not want to put out, they're so polite that they will sit through pain and suffer to not make the experience inconvenient for the tattoo artist.
It honestly just felt like he was
Think
tickling
about,
me,
like-
but then I thought, you know what? Maybe I should get the second one while I'm still really fat, because I think it just didn't hit my bone.
Do you think as well? I mean, I think about all the times that like you've been in pain and like nobody else around you has known. Like you've just sat there like smiling, you've been doing things, and you've been in like excruciating pain.
Mhm.
Like literally
Yeah.
sometimes we'll be like there are a couple of times I remember when we've been coming back from Bateman's Bay, and I openly, because it was just us in the car, I'm like, I think I'm dying, like the pain is so bad. And he's like, what from? And I'm like, what do you like? I'm crap. My whole body is like, I'm uncomfortable. I've been sitting for 2 hours by this point. I've got a shit period. And I'm like, nah, I just like openly saying it. And he was like shocked by it.
Yeah, and that's why women sit
Yeah,
for tattoos better,
weird.
because they're polite with their pain.
And they're just used to like dealing to staying still and like
And
talking
like that
to it.
manual
Working, doing
breathing. Like I was talking to George this morning, like my sternum hurts because when you get a tattoo you gotta go into manual breathing mode because you forget how to breathe. But that manual breathing reminds me of having cramps and forcing yourself to go like like because you can't
Really?
move.
I don't know. Mine is the size of like a bee stick. So like really it took him 5 seconds to do my tattoo. It was a joke.
It's when you get into
And I was like, Josh, you got to hold my hand. And then he started doing it. I'm like, let go of me, psycho. I'm fine. Like, I was literally like, this is so stupid.
but wait, you like I don't know about you, but I got my IUD without pain killers.
I can't talk about that.
So-
that genuinely, I made Josh go with me to get it done, because I was like, if I have to go through the pain, you have to listen to me go through
So
the pain.
I went with
so there we
Billy.
go. We can get tattoos. You can get IUD without painkillers or like sedatives, and you can get a tattoo. That's my
Exactly.
conclusion.
Yeah, you said that the IUD hurt worse than any tattoo you've
The IUD hurts worse than anything I've ever gone through.
Before.
Yeah. It's worse than any pain.
Any body modification, anything of IUD. I would rather be tattooed for 24 hours straight than ever get an IUD. I'd rather be
punched in the face 600 times. Yeah. For that 5 seconds, I was in pain for 2 weeks after I got the IUD put in. Just genuine.
That's the other thing as well. Like they'll be like, oh, the next day you might feel a little bit of cramping, just like a period, and then everybody that I've spoken to has just been like knocked out.
Yeah, like I couldn't work for 2 weeks because I was in so much. I couldn't
just unmanageable by like over the counter.
Like the boys that I was living with at the time had to help me get up, put me on the toilet, come back, pick me up.
That's what I mean.
Because I couldn't use my stomach muscles at all. I was in so much pain, and I think about it, how it's even an option that it isn't covered to go under for an IUD.
Dude, it's a fucking travesty.
It's fucking disgusting.
Women's health
it's fucking disgusting.
Women's health in medicine is
disgusting.
Terrible, and it's always been terrible.
It's disgusting.
It's never gotten better. It's going to take a lot of work to get it back to like what
I think and when I finally went to the doctor and she was like feeling my stomach, she's like, you're genuinely having contractions, like you're giving birth. So
because they're trying to push it out.
Contractions.
It's trying to get it out.
Had actual contractions for 2 weeks straight. I was in labor for 2 weeks. The pain, I can't even, I swear to God, I thought I was going to die. And then I went to, remember how I was really sick earlier this year? I had to have the surgery. I was like projectile vomiting and passing out, and they sent me home.
Yeah, because they'll be like, oh no, you're just a woman. It's probably just anxiety. Women have a low pain tolerance. She's actually not that sick.
My gallbladder almost exploded. My gallbladder almost exploded.
It's inbuilt bias. It's inbuilt biases. Like these people, like doctors, they aren't even consciously making this decision. They're just basing it on what they've learned from everybody else before them. So, like, even just people's like body language towards women. If you're like a medical student and you're with a doctor who's giving you even like negative body language or is just dismissing people, then you learn.
The same thing happened to me. I have problems in my eyes, and I had eye pain so bad that I lost my vision. And I went to the doctor, and as they rolled me in, like I waited like 2 hours. As they took me in, the woman went, "Oh, it's just a migraine." And I went, No, this is not a migraine. I know what a migraine feels like. I think my eyes are going to pop out of my head. And there was so much pressure within my eye walls. They had to like, I don't know, do something to them. But I sat there for 3 hours because they were like, she's just a migraine. She's just dramatic.
But since when is a migraine dramatic?
Exactly. Could
That's
be
the
anything.
thing that blows my mind. But a migraine isn't dramatic. A migraine can literally knock somebody out. The pain is so bad.
Yeah, it's debilitating.
It's literally like I've maybe had like 6 migraines in my life, and I know when they're coming on because behind my left eye I can feel it starting. So I'm very lucky. I just take the medication, it goes away. But I've gone through it 6 times in my life. I honest to God have considered killing myself during that time.
Yeah, fuck you.
During a migraine, just to end it,
just to make it end, because it feels like it's never going to end and you're never going to be okay again. Because mine are in my eyes, so maybe that's why they thought it was a migraine for you. But it's not just a migraine. I get cluster headaches because it's behind my eyes. So that's what a cluster headache is, and that's literally just getting punched in your eyes over and over and over and over again.
It's also just like if somebody presents with like one symptom that might inform one diagnosis, you have a responsibility to check all avenues, because if you get it wrong, then things can go really badly for that person.
That's what happened with me with my gallbladder. Like I was literally messaging you guys.
You can't just make an assumption. You can't just make an assumption based on one symptom without any. You need like subjective data, like or objective data. Like you need tests done. You need to see.
Do you know what their test for me was the first time I went in? They touched my stomach.
Pregnancy also counts as well.
They pushed on my stomach. They were like, "You're fine." And then they worked out that the pain would only happen when I was digesting food, and that my gallbladder was about to explode every single time I ate.
Yeah.
And that is why women can sit through tattoos better.
Yeah, sorry about that, but seriously,
true.
When I was watching Josh, I'm like, "You're such a little bitch."
I do not go with men to tattoos.
There seems to be. I was actually reading like one of those. I think it was on like Instagram or something, but it was one of those like tell me like your medical horror story things, and it was mainly women commenting.
Oh, obviously, right? Like, and it's nearly always endometriosis, right? Like how.
Or it's a lot to do with like PCOS, endometriosis, and a lot of the like responses that women were getting from doctors were also blaming their weight.
Always.
So like that's
what I got.
Yes, but these women
and
weren't even that big.
I wasn't able to lose weight for 2 years, and I couldn't work out why. And you guys know I walk almost every day. Like I'm always out exercising, and I've also like I don't eat badly. I didn't drink for a whole year. Like, why could I lose a single kilo? And the minute I got my gallbladder out, I started dropping weight the next day.
Yeah. It took my mum 7 years to be diagnosed with a thyroid problem.
It's just so stupid.
Yeah, because they look at the symptoms of thyroid, which is like lethargy, fucking gaining weight, or at the opposite end, if you've got an overactive, you know, like you feel like a fast heartbeat, faint and dizzy, and they go like, that's emotional.
There was a news article out yesterday in Australia of a woman who had to force a surgeon, a female surgeon was the only one who she was able to force, to do exploratory surgery on her uterus, and they didn't even need to open anything. She had endometriosis scar tissue all over her bladder, all over her organs, everywhere.
Yeah, so that's
and
fucked.
For 5 years they ignored her, and they were like, "How are you even standing?"
There are cases of women having like ovarian and uterine cancer, and they try to explain their symptoms, and the doctors don't investigate until much later. So these women have much worse health outcomes.
It is really, really difficult to survive ovarian cancer unless you are early.
Already?
Yeah. Unless you are very early in catching it.
And then you have to be insanely aggressive with your treatment, so this person's quality of life is going to be terrible.
Know?
Even if they don't even have that great of a chance.
You know what's crazy?
It's just fucking hard work.
You know what's crazy? The recent uptick in checking for breast cancer probably has only happened because men also have breast tissue.
Don't.
Yes.
Don't, Betty. It's best if you don't, because I might actually punch the computer screen.
Anyway,
I get so angry about the Viagra situation.
Don't
get me fucking started.
Don't get me started on drug testing and efficacy of drugs on men versus women, because women are almost never involved in drug trials.
Or safety. So
all of the drugs that we take are made for
and safety. Seatbelts were only ever tested on men. You don't even know if we were. Yeah, car safety. Anyway, we should talk about something more positive.
Oh, yeah, because we got a review this week.
We did. Well, I don't know if that's positive, but we did get our first hate. And I would like...
I don't know if it was hate, but it was just fucking
I don't think it was hate. I think it was concern.
Yeah, it was literally just like concern for our future as a podcast.
I would like to put out there that one strange suggestion asking one of the 3 people that do the podcast not to come back for this. Because we all, if you guys haven't seen the hate comment, I don't have my phone on me, but it was about me, basically.
Oh, 100%. Like when...
What was it? What did it say? It was
let me grab my phone.
It was like... Sec. Yeah.
That's all right. Okay, so the hate comment is, I just listened to my first podcast from you and I loved it, except the very negative person. I don't know her name, but my goodness, that person needs therapy. She's full of hate and negativity. Clearly she has issues. Not sure if I can listen to another with her in the mix. I have a few things to say. One, if you're going to go through the effort of listening to the podcast, finding our Instagram, and then commenting, like, just go back to the beginning of the episode and figure out what my name is. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of effort to be like, I don't know her name.
I actually thought it was me for yesterday when I was walking and listening to episodes, because there's one whole episode.
I asked Betty who it was.
Because there was one whole episode, and I think it was the episode about that stupid fucking mafia army, stupid fucking book. The special ops mafia army.
Oh,
where I was just negative the whole way through.
Well, I just don't think you ever come across as negative.
I don't, though. That's the thing. That's what I was thinking
like,
about.
It has to be, it has to, like, it's categorically, like, it's just me. Like, and I'm just like a fully aware.
I love that you had to ask, but somebody, when you said that to me, I was like 100% Betty. Like, I didn't even have to see that you wrote, haha, it's about me. I was like, Betty.
I had to ask too, because I was like, Betty doesn't come across as negative. She just comes across as like ambivalent.
Yeah. Indifferent.
Like, she just couldn't
Indifferent. Yeah,
indifferent.
I think the problem is,
like, I think it's,
do you know what negative. I think it is? Because I have actually called her negative on the podcast before. It's her voice. She's just so fucking monotonal that nobody actually knows what she's feeling because you guys don't see us. So she's actually smiling right now, but she sounds like she's killing animals.
I don't actually think I'm that monotonous at all. I definitely think it's like the infliction between like just being British and the rest of the world.
Yeah.
British people are something else, man.
I
actually learned a lot about it when I was in Europe this time again because I was paying attention and I'm like, I don't hate you. You guys are just like so indifferent to everything. But no offense to the Americans out there. There was some where I was like, I might have to kill you. If you come close to me, I might have to kill you.
Every single one of my report cards I got growing up, I was mentioned as like a bubbly, happy child. So
I don't believe that. I do, like, your teacher is either insane or there is absolute, like, they must use the UK to find liars and fucking terrorists and shit because they can see the most minuscule change of emotion in a person.
Nah, I'm a bubbly, happy person. I just have a monotonous voice. And that's it. Like, I'm not a negative person. Also, the therapy thing, harsh.
They're literally, and I was listening to the episode yesterday and there was me going, you need therapy, and who needs the most therapy? Therapists.
Harsh.
I was like, holy shit, maybe she listened to that episode.
I think she probably did. But I would like to say, one, a majority of the things that I say, just for clarification, are not my true opinions.
No, you joke. Most of you say what you say is
sarcastic. But nobody can hear that because they don't know you. I've tried to explain this to you several times. It does not come across as sarcasm. You genuinely sound like the biggest bitch sometimes.
Okay, well, I don't know. Like, get funnier. That's not my problem. Sounds like... Learn how to take a joke.
See, that's funny because you laughed afterwards.
Okay, but like the point of like having dry humor is you say it and then you move on really quickly and it takes you a second to get that it's funny, and that's how like it works. I'm not gonna laugh.
Can I tell you something? Americans think that I am very dry. So if I'm dry, can you imagine what they think about you?
You're like big. You're like big.
No. I'm like as an Australian, I'm considered very, very dry.
That's
mad, right? If I'm dry, what does that make me? She's fucking sandpaper, mate. There's not even a chance of her expressing herself properly to a single person outside of Australia.
Well, I would like everybody to know that within my British household, I'm hilarious. So...
We had our new housemate is Chilean. That just reminded me. Our new housemate is Chilean and she's fucking so funny. But the first week she really couldn't speak a word of English. But the only thing that she could say to us was, I'm funny in Spanish. And I was like, bitch, you're funny in English. Don't worry about it.
That is pretty good.
That is so funny.
That is. To go to another country and that's the only like language... like sentence you learn in that language.
She's like, I'm funny in
Spanish. Think like I would be worried about that too, eh? Like I'd be like, I need you to know that.
Yeah, like she wanted us to know that she's got a good personality. Like she was so adamant about us knowing. I love her. She's so good. But she's like she's almost fluent now, living with us for a couple of months. She's done amazing.
That's good. Anyway, what I wanted to end that little conversation on is I'm gonna start a petition to get me kicked off the podcast if it's a unanimous decision, because I don't want to be here anyway. So if other people can get rid of
me, you can't say that because we both know that you do.
I'll sign it.
Can you?
I'll sign it.
So yeah, I know I do want to be here, but I'm just like it's funny now. It's funny to play into the fact that people think I hate being here and I hate everything, and I'm like so ultimately negative. It's just like sometimes you gotta play your cards in life, and this is the cards that I've been dealt.
But your strength. Your strength is not caring about
Well, I think it would be weird if I just started coming on and was, like, super enthusiastic every week.
I was like, oh my god! I love this book.
It would be weird if I came onto the podcast happy.
I am so happy. I don't think
nobody can hear it. I feel like a podcast was the worst idea for us. I think we should have done like a YouTube channel because nobody can see your face. You literally just sound like you hate your fucking life every day.
I actually don't know what to say to that because I had no idea this was a common theme until I started this podcast.
I don't think that you're like that indifferent. I think you're just subtle with your humor. Like you're just subtle with your emotions,
but like you see her, like, fun. But like when you're listening to it, it's different.
Like you kind of do need to like look
you have to see her face. Like honestly, she's very happy. She's not negative. She's always bloody smiling. She just sounds like she's killing rabbits in her spare time.
Anyway, so to the person she also doesn't follow us, which annoyed me. I'm like, at least follow us if you're gonna leave a hate comment. But anyway, I'm not going anywhere because I've been here from the beginning.
Because we don't want you. We love you. And...
You've been in every single episode.
And I'm like, I don't know what to say.
Actually, no, that's not true. She hasn't been in every single episode. I'm the only one who has been in every single episode.
No, you're the only one that hasn't.
No, it's only you and I.
I'm the only one that's been in every single episode.
Oh, you're the only one. Oh, I thought
you guys.
No, I missed that author.
You missed the author. You missed an author, and then George was at a wedding, so she missed one.
Mm-hmm.
So, in fact, I'm the most consistent member of this podcast.
You are, which is actually kind of shocking.
You're actually the glue.
You are the glue.
Together.
Well, I was actually thinking.
I don't know if I would say that. Actually, I would take that back. I feel like I'm the glue. She's probably got the biggest responsibility, but I'm the one who kind of.
You're an essential cog in the mission.
But I was thinking about this. I was
We'd be fucked without Betty.
I was thinking about this, and I was like,
I'm not fucking learning how to edit shit. Betty has to stay. We'll start a petition to kick this woman off Instagram.
So I was thinking about this, and I was like, all right. Say, for example, I listened to this one, like, person opinion out of, like, the 20,000 people that have listened to us, right? And I leave the podcast. I was like, it's just not going to work because Ola's too chatty and George is too quiet.
Yeah.
It would just be me, like,
going like,
So, yeah.
Do you remember at the beginning of the podcast how she'd go, and that would literally just be it. It would just be me talking and her going,
You had to like sit me down and be like, you need to stop. You need to stop making these sounds.
Because the whole way through it was just you sounding like we were boring the shit out of you going,
It's because I'm an active listener. That's how I acknowledge that I've heard what you said.
You just sounded so fucking bored.
It's meant to convey like
it conveyed
like
an empathy.
You sounded very condescending. I remember we listened back to it and you were like,
yeah.
I talk to people in hospital like that.
Oh, it's so bad.
Like they're a small child.
I understand.
You're literally belittling people by using that voice. Tell me about what you guys read.
Yeah, what did we read? A lot of Hermione.
I read so much Omegaverse, but purely because it has like no storyline, and I could drop it and then pick it up 3 days later when I was in a different city.
Yeah,
I started reading.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I read the entirety of the Southern Vampire Mysteries, which is the book series that True Blood is based on. It was so good. It was so camp. It's like vampires set in Louisiana. It's like got smut in it, but it's not smut.
Okay, so is it like Fade to Black?
No, like there is sex scenes in it, but it's not like a main focal point of the story. There's 13 books.
Flew through them as
you read the whole thing?
Yeah, she fucking flew through
Read the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah, they're not super long.
There was one book that I read that I wanted to bring up. I said that I read the second part of Pucking Around. No. Pucking Around, the Emily Rath book.
Yeah.
I read part 2.
Was it that the one with the best friend?
The second part was, the second book was about, the best friend and a younger player.
Was it good?
So it was reverse age gap.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Yeah, like she pegged him.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Did it stand up to fucking around, in your opinion?
No. I think if you're a reverse I think this is a really stupid thing to say, but I feel quite strongly about it. If you're a reverse harem author and you start a series reverse harem, you can't go back to...
I kind of understand that, because it's like that's a big draw for a lot of people, is reverse. Like, people often exclusively read reverse harem. So I
mostly read reverse harem. It's my favorite.
I guess it is kind of confusing to start with reverse harem and then go back, as opposed to building up to reverse harem.
Yeah, like swapping it out. And I don't think I've ever read a series that has gone from reverse harem to two people.
Yeah, like, you know, some of them will do like, maybe like you do like reverse harem and then maybe like polyamory.
Yeah.
Like, you know, different combinations
it seemed a bit...
groups, yeah.
Yeah, it seemed a bit, how are you going? I read Gemma Weir's new book the other day, and I messaged her and I'm like, you actually probably need therapy. This was a lot. And she was like, oh, I thought it wasn't that bad. And I'm like, are you okay? Like, what is wrong?
You're as bad as that lady on Instagram.
No, but I messaged her and I was like, as your best friend, and she just started laughing. No, she loves me. We talk about it all the time. I'm like, you're insane. Like, this is insane. I love it. No, but I loved it.
Yeah.
But it was just crazy. Yeah. Like, you thought that her previous people were possessive. This was on another level. But do you know what she did? She did try and fuck around with the birth control in this one. And I know that we've spoken about it before, and I'm not a huge fan. But then he owned up to it very quickly, and like, it was a resolution.
That's just,
it wasn't
like,
that he actually...
Yeah. It's like kind of worse.
No, but she didn't fall pregnant. No, she didn't fall pregnant. He like tried to...
He hit it.
No, he hit it for like 2 days and then he gave it back, kind of thing.
That's just pathetic.
That's worse.
Like, you even follow through with it, or you like don't do it at all.
Yeah, there is literally nothing that could make you too happy.
No.
Oh, I figured out my favorite book category, which is gothic fiction.
I'm surprised.
Which I'd always know. I always knew that I really liked gothic books, but I was like, then I read a few that weren't smart, and I was like, oh, this is just my favorite type of book.
So, did you read that other book that wasn't Gothicana, the one that was based on Gothicana?
Yeah, I did. Not Decadia.
Yeah, is it good?
It was good, yeah. No, I don't know if it was as good
Gothicana.
as...
I actually really want to read it, because I did not think that I would like Gothic novels, and I really liked Gothicana.
I've read a few of... the Kerry Lake, who wrote it, I've read quite a few of her books. Like, I think I've read almost all of them as well, just because I've been reading heaps of gothic fiction. And she's a great writer, but it's quite hard to follow her storylines sometimes. Like, it's just kind of hard to like hold it all in your head. It's like things that can get like a little bit topsy-turvy. But then she also writes like unreliable narrators and like paranormal, so there's like magic-y shit.
What's an unreliable narrator?
Yeah. Just like the person whose like point of view it is unreliable. So like what their version of reality is different from what's actually happening.
Kind of like when we read Pen Pal.
Yeah, unreliable narrator.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. That's an unreliable
Didn't
narrator.
know that's what it was called.
I think then in that, if we're talking about favorite books, because I started reading the Magnolia Park series. It's fucking amazing, by the way.
What is it about?
It's London. It's like Gossip Girl. It's like London socialites, except from there's like 2 main characters. And they're in like an on-again, off-again relationship.
Oh my god, kill me.
It's really good. I really like it. But
yeah.
I think I've discovered then that my favorite type of books are probably just like on-again, off-again, like toxic fucking shitty relationships.
Oh, no shit, Sherlock. We could have told you that a year ago.
Yeah, but I always thought I was more like dark romance.
It's true, actually, because you, yeah. I think a part of that is like the insta love thing. Like, you want them to like break up and like get back together.
I don't like insta.
You know, like you don't want like happy sunshine.
I want them to suffer to get to their sweet spot. They're happy ever after. That's why I love Hermione fanfiction, which I've been obsessively reading.
Yeah.
I don't know what my favorite is. I think my favorite is, because I'm such a mood reader, and I learned that when I was going through shit before I went to Europe, that it changes for me all the time. I don't have one thing that I'm addicted to. Like, there's not one thing that I need. Like, sometimes you guys bring up a book and I'm like, oh, I'm going to hate it, but I'm in love with it.
It's not necessarily
because that's what I need at that moment.
It's not necessarily like I'd only read those categories. It's just like if I'm ever stuck to read, I know that I could pick up a book with this kind of premise and know that I'll like it and it'll get me back into reading, kind of thing. Like, it doesn't even have to be smutty. Like, Sally Rooney's books follow that premise of just like a tumultuous relationship that like
normal people
conversations with friends, beautiful world, like they all follow just like the tumultuous like aspect of a relationship and like the kind of ambiguous happy ending. Like, and I'll just always love those kind of books. Or unrequited love unrequited love.
Love unrequited love. Dude, I figured out as well the reason why I like Saffron A. Kent's books so much is because her books are kind of written in like a gothic style. Like everything's kind of creepy. Like she writes things kind of creepy. There's a lot of, and like just really like weird feelings. Like these girls that are just like insane. Like it just feels kind of gothic somehow to like just be crazy.
I just know what I really don't like, and that's angst.
But angst is different. Angst, for me, the word angst only fits within like the young teen to like early 20s category of books. I think when you get above 25, it's no longer angst in my head.
What is it? Just
I don't know. I feel like it's different. Like angst feels different to like to a rocky relationship. Like they feel like two very different things.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. So I don't like either. To be honest. I just like
angst and all related
maybe I'm
categories.
Really shallow or stupid, I don't know, but I do need things to be a little bit chill because I have shit going on in my life all the time and I don't need to add to it.
I think it's fine to like. Yeah. I think it's fine
point.
To like insta love or like happy ever afters. I don't. Yeah. I think it like when you read, you read for.
You can see. I understand.
You read for like escapism, right? Like you read to get away from
pretty much
the world. And it just so happens that when I want to get away from my world, I want to watch other people suffer outside of myself.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And this is why we got that review.
I was told by my therapist that I use reading as a form of dissociation.
Oh, fuck off. Of course we do.
And I was
obviously.
like, but it's a good habit.
But I'm better than you because I read.
They tell you to read so that you don't get have dementia or Alzheimer's. Fuck off.
But I was like, but like, how do I know what's a healthy amount of reading?
It's my form of dissociation is better than yours. So, like, I'm a reader.
I'm not drinking, I'm not smoking pot, and I'm not smashing hard drugs. So, lick my asshole and go tell somebody who cares, Sally.
Biddy and I went to a book sale and we spent heaps of money. We got heaps of bags of books, right? It was like a secondhand book sale. My favorite book sale of the year, go every year. And then I was talking to my nana. And she was like, how much like money are you going to spend on books? And I was like, well, I put aside $50. And she was like, oh, Georgia, for God's sake, or something. And then Betty was like, well, at least it's not drugs.
Yeah.
like it's so much better to spend $50 on books.
And you bought like
$50 on book. You can buy 2 books on Amazon for $50. I don't understand why $50 on 80 books is a big deal.
Yeah, George bought like 80 books and I bought like 60 or something.
I ended up spending $80 on 80
That's not bad.
And I bought about 60
books.
Yeah. And then we ended up having to get a new bookcase. And we need another one already. So we're up to 5 bookcases in this house.
Dude.
That just gives me
Biddy fucking...
The fact that you guys have to dust that shit.
None of them match either. None of the bookcases match. They're all like different colours and different finishes.
You guys are unwell.
Biddy discovered Hermione fanfiction because I've been like,
but she discovered it last year, didn't she? I remember when she discovered it.
I know, but then she read Manacles.
A really famous one.
She read Manacles.
The one.
It's like the most famous Hermione
that
fanfiction.
Honey Andrews was talking to us about.
The one with like,
No, yeah, she was talking about
the one with 4 million reads. Like everybody's talking about it. Like people who have never read fanfiction.
People before. Like bind it so they have the like book. And then I was like, well, yeah, actually, we were just talking, it was just after you read Manacled, and you're like, I have no idea what to read now, like, what's another good Hermione fanfiction? And so I compiled a folder and airdropped it to her that contained 46 fanfictions, all Hermione, and I went through and I was like, they were only the good ones. Like, I had like hundreds downloaded on my phone. I didn't realize how bad it was.
Did you know that Tom Felton and Emma Watson actually were really into each other and they didn't know, and then it was like kind of too late for them?
We also
they talk about it.
Also talked about this. The actors are completely removed from the fan fiction. I do not like Tom Felton is not what like Draco Malfoy in fan fiction looks like in my head. Same with Emma Watson and Hermione. They're two completely different things. I have an entirely different mind outside of the actors. Like the movie, like even like the Harry Potter movies and the Harry Potter books are not the same thing in my head. They're like two different things. Yeah. And fan fiction comes from the books, not the movies. In my head.
Fan fiction's like a whole different thing because half the time like all you've got is just like the characters, but like there's so many just like commonly accepted like things that don't exist in the books that all fan fiction.
But I do want to like, specify that characters that are we're like not sexualizing these two actors that we watched grow up.
I'm just saying like that's something that happened when they were on the films. Like they had a crush on each other.
Yeah, they wrote it. They talked about it, and then she wrote about it in his fucking biography.
Yeah, she gave the forward in his.
Yeah. He wrote a autobiography about growing up on the Harry Potter set, and then they told Betty, and she was like, "Did you know he only had 30 minutes of screen time over the whole like 8 movies?"
Yeah, 30 minutes. No. He was one of the lowest screen time.
Yeah, he's only in like 1 or 2 30 minutes for each movie.
All 7 movies. You only see him for 30 minutes.
That makes sense, but like when you think about it, he's so heavily.
I know, but he's barely in it.
Wild.
All right, we should probably wrap this up. We've just rambled.
No, we're talking about books, you moron. This is what we're here for.
Yeah, but we've hit 45 minutes.
Normally we hit about an hour.
Yeah, but like I think we're like, oh, okay, we can keep going.
No, I'm good. I'm done. But I'm just saying, like, we're not rambling.
Then why are you making a big deal out of it?
I just don't think it's rambling. Like, we're genuinely talking about books.
Look, we can end it, but I am not
Okay, rambling. Well, at some point within this podcast, we did ramble, so...
Okay, we did.
Happy?
That medical care and its historic failure of
women. I don't know if that's rambling or just dropping facts because we're angry about it. just dropping fucking facts. Just being like, you know what, we're pissed off about this shit. Somebody listen. I hope like a doctor listens to this.
Me and George sit on the couch daily and have 2-3 hour conversations about like the
injustices of women.
I can actually imagine that though.
Like
I'd probably get over it after the first 2 times.
We lose track of time.
Like, okay, at this point, you gotta like get over it.
Yeah.
Because when I was just like see something, and I'd be like, I saw this on like Instagram, and then it would be like,
and then it's like 2 hours later, we've gone through like the entire we've picked apart this like injustice, like we've got it down to its roots. We know where it comes from, and like how to get rid of it, and why we can't get rid of it.
Like, and that's the institution. It's the system.
It's wild.
Yeah.
All right. Lucy Score. We're doing Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score.
I'm excited.
We are.
Yes. Me too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right.
No,
see you guys next week.
Thank you for listening to Girls Who Read Porn. Follow us at Girls Who Read Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And for all business inquiries, please send us an email on girlswhoreadporn@gmail.com. Art created by Jessica Wanney, and music made by Dane Forgy Stevens. See you next week, and stay smutty, team.